Good morning, one and all. Welcome to today's webinar. Praveen sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Yes, sir. Sir, before we start the session, can we wait for another 5 minutes?
Sure, no problem.
Thank you, sir. We would be starting the sessions shortly. Kindly please wait as we're waiting for more participants to join in. I request all the participants to kindly put yourself on mute and also disable your videos so that we can enjoy the smooth streaming of the session. Good morning, one and all. On behalf of KLE College of Business Administration, Hubli, I take this opportunity to welcome all the participants for today's webinar on the changing era of business and data analytics. Today's speaker is Mr. Praveen Hanchanal. Mr. Praveen Hanchanal is an educator, an IT consultant, a professional speaker, and also he specializes in cloud, big data, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence are some of his forte. He is currently working in Government First Grade College, Dharwad, as an assistant professor. Sir has been hello. Sir has been hosting various seminars and webinars, and he is also an expert in conducting training programs for teachers on various new technologies. So I now request Mr. Praveen Hanchanal to kindly take over the session. So kindly unmute yourself.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll start now. I hope you can.
So your voice is breaking actually, not very audible.
How about now, madam?
There is still a lot of disturbance.
Okay, just give me a minute. Hello, ma'am.
Praveen sir?
Yeah, can you hear me properly?
No, sir. Actually, I don't know why there is a pretty much disturbance when you're speaking.
Like my network is fine, ma'am.
Okay, so I think we can go ahead then.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Is it the audio is clear now?
Yes, perfectly audible, sir.
Okay, fine. So morning, everyone. Today we'll be discussing regarding business and data analytics. Okay. So very interesting topic. One of the most advancing hype in the recent technologies. Okay. So about me, I'm into a lot of things. Okay. Kindly just Google my name. Okay. So once you Google my name, you will get my website. If you visit that, you'll get a lot of things so that you can learn there more. So first thing is, before we start, we have some recommended settings. So first thing is set your brightness to maximum to have a better experience of this presentation. Keep your phone rotation on, put it in landscape mode if you are mobile, then turn off your mic and video, and use of headphones is recommended to avoid echo. Then kindly have a calculator with you if like if you want to, if we have to do some calculations and all. So then what we will be learning? So today we'll be looking at what is data analytics, how big data and data analytics
Sorry, sir, just
scenarios.
to interrupt you for a second.
Then
I'm sorry, I just wanted to interrupt you for a minute.
yes, ma'am.
So kindly enable your video settings, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have disabled that because to save the latency.
Yeah, I understand.
You want me to enable my video also?
Yeah, yes, sir. I prefer that.
Yeah, I'll just like start my video for just 1 minute, something like
Okay, sir. Fine.
that. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we'll be discussing about what is data analytics, big data analytics and scenarios, then how machine learning helps for analytics, then how analytics refines businesses and some case studies, and how we can get started with the career and next go to the next level. Okay. So is analytics actually impacting you? Let's see whether like analytics is already there and is affecting your life. The first thing is whether you are getting appropriate suggestions in social media. For example, let me give an example. For example, if you search anything on Wikipedia, or if you Google something, a same ad related to that will be displayed on your Facebook or Instagram. And if you like something on Instagram, that related ad will come in the Facebook. So this is how like analytics will impact you. Then we have something called loyalty card or points. It's there in Big Bazaar, even in more shops and all. So what's the point here is they will give you loyalty card and points so that you will keep on buying the things and they can track you and have a better suggestions, better offers for you. Okay. So then you have something called ad based on your search. Okay. So this is like very popular in Google. So the video, what kind of video you watch, that kind of ad will be displayed for you. So this was not there on TV. You should understand this. In TV, it's a general, it's not targeted on particular one person. It's totally targeted to everybody. See, for example, if you Harpic ad comes, or if any other ad of like Boost, Bonita will come. So that is not targeted for like specific person. It's generalized, broadcasted, and not specific. So people who may not interested may not watch it. But in YouTube, it's a different scenario. Ads will be based on your search itself. Okay. See, for example, I get ads in YouTube related to data analytics, related to big data, artificial intelligence. The reason is I search a lot regarding that. The only things which are applicable for me will be displayed. That will have more impact regarding the marketing. So then we have something called offer-based shopping. So Peter England and a lot of companies will have something called offer-based shopping. They will have offers like based on your shopping experience. See, for example, if I buy 3 shirts, they will go for offering another shirt so that I'll buy more and all. So then the next thing is data is the new oil and soil. So I don't know whether you heard about this or not. Now they will call data as the new oil and soil. One of the reason why this is very popular is because, give me a second. Okay. So what actually happens is in soil actually change the future in the in your if you look at our civilization, who is having the highest agricultural land, who was having the highest like soil quality, they actually ruled the things. Okay. After that, oil got invented. So when they discovered that oil, okay, so oil changed the future. So everything got changed because of the oil. Okay. So oil actually defined how we are now. Okay. So in the future, in the similar way how soil and oil changed the like our civilization, now data will change. So let me give an example. So who is possessing the highest data with like world's data is Google and Facebook. That's the reason, even if there is like in coming days, whoever is having the highest data, for example Amazon is having the highest data of shopping, so will rule the world. Okay. So Google or Facebook can dominate because of this. And if you wonder, both Google and Facebook are free, and even WhatsApp is free, even Instagram is free. The point is, you may be wondering, they will invest crores of rupees just to manage the servers, okay, and give the service for you free. And they are not like philosophical people who will do it for free. No, the advantage is they will collect your data. That's the idea. Okay. So next, we will understand this data versus information classification. So this is a basic. If you understand this, the rest of the presentation will go very easily. You can understand the things. Okay, so the point here is data. First thing is data and information. Let me give an example. So first thing is, whenever you have data will always be meaningless, whereas information is always meaningful. Let me give an example. Say for example, a circle in a city, a road in a city, okay, a number in a city is totally meaningless. So for example, if I say like Rayana circle, if I say like 12th road, if I say like take right, so these are all totally, even if a signs on the road also meaningless. So each individual unit is data. For example, a road is a data, a circle is a data, take right is a data. So these are all totally meaningless. So when it becomes meaningful is if somebody asks you for road directions. Okay, so what you can do is what you will say, you will say like go ahead straight with the 12th road. When a circle comes, take right. Okay, then you will say like we will find a shop. In that shop, like you can take left, like that. So if you give directions like this will become information. What you did is you took the data and you made it as an information for the person who is asking the road directions. This is very important because you already had the data in your head, but if you write everything as a data with particular person and give it to him, it's totally become meaningless. You added some sentences, you made it composition, and you made it as information. This is what we do in analytics. Okay, so I hope you are getting the point. So if the data is there, it's totally meaningless. So if you join the data and if you refine it and if you analyze it and if you make it meaningful, then it becomes information. So we'll be, world needs information, not actually data. See for example, if I have information on the slides, so all the content on the slides is just data. Okay, so I am explaining to you. So what I am actually doing is I'm taking my knowledge and explaining the things on the slides. So that is, I'm giving you information that you are finding it meaningful. Okay, so next point is, you can see the number of zeros here. So there are 18 zeros. Okay, so on particular one each day, we are generating around 2.5 quintillion data each day. Okay, so you can imagine the amount of data we are generating. Okay, so using your phone or using your laptop, using your smart devices, TVs, it can be anything. So that is, we are generating around 2.5 quintillion of data. Okay, so that's our 18 zeros. Okay, so as regarding like right now, it was a past data. Now during this COVID time, because of this corona and all, almost all everybody is using the phones, laptops, and they are getting consumed a lot. So now because of that, now it is 3 quintillion. Okay, so but still we'll go ahead with the 2.5 quintillion itself. Okay, so let us do one small task here. Like I want you to understand how actually this goes complicated. We'll see, we'll have a calculator with us. We'll calculate how much of data each India will generate for each day. Okay, so if everyone is with this, kindly raise your hands. I'll go ahead with this, else I'll skip this. Okay, so I'll go with this calculations based part, so that you can understand how much of data you're generating. Okay, so what I will do is, okay, I hope you can see my screen with a page saying find out the size of the piece of text. Can you see that? Raise your hands. Okay, so what I'll do is, I'll just take like example of your WhatsApp. What actually basically a lot of people will do in the morning in WhatsApp is they will send a text. Okay, so they'll say something like good morning. Okay, so what actually happens is I'm just calculating the size of good morning in your WhatsApp. Okay, so that's around 12 bytes. Okay, so if you send it for like 100 people, okay, I'll just copy paste it so you can understand. So imagine you will send everybody good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, like that. So you can see the data is increasing a lot. Okay. So right now, what actually you're doing is, if you send only text messages with good morning, okay, so you are consuming more than 100 kb, something like that. So I'm just using text. I'm not using any images also. Okay. So let's imagine we have having only 150, 100 kb of data. Okay. So right now, what I'll do is I'll open a notepad for you. Okay. I'll just share my whole screen for you so that you can understand what actually I'm doing. Okay. Okay. So what I will do is for text. Okay. So what actually we have is around 100 kb. Okay. So this is for one person. So one person sending messages on WhatsApp text will be 100 kb. On the whole day, he will receive hundreds of images and he will also forward 100 of images. So like now I'll just imagine that 100 kb of data for that and images. So in images, we'll consider like he will consume around 10 MB of data. So that is he takes pictures and all. Okay. So he will also take pictures from his camera also rather than WhatsApp. So that's another 10 MB. Okay. So now what I will consider is we'll also imagine we'll have one video also. Okay. So we'll take that as around 10 MB. I hope you can see my typing on the screen. Okay. So this is one person's data. Okay. So I'm considering per day. Okay. So that's around, we'll round it off so that we can have a calculations in a seamless way. Okay. So this is around 50 MB. Okay. So it's around 50 MB per person. Okay. So that's around 50 MB per person. Okay. So per day. Okay. So now the point is, I'll give you some task. What actually you have to do is, what's the population of India? I hope you know that. So let's consider it as, even though it is 130, so we'll consider it as 100 crores. Okay, so that's a population of India. So you'll imagine like 30 crores are useless either, or they are not using phone. Okay, so 100 crores population, 50 MB per day. Okay, so now what I have to calculate, we have to tell me is, now you calculate and put it in the chat box. How much of MB total India generates? India generates how much of data? Kindly calculate this and put it in the chat box. You can use calculator, no problem. So what you can do is, I hope I'll give the answer for you. So 500, 100 into 50 MB. So that's around, okay. So what actually happens is, you have something like 5000 MB. Okay. So this is in terms of MB, megabytes. Okay. So I know it's a little bit technical, hold it for me. So I'm just giving you an idea what actually happens. This is for 500 MB. So that's around 5 GB per day. Okay. So this is for random second. Okay. So this is for random second of India. That is 5 GB per day for any random second we have considered in a whole India, and that too in the morning, you can say. Okay. So this we have to multiply it by 5 GB. Okay. Multiplied by around, we can say 24 into 60. Okay. So into 60. I hope you understand why I did this. Okay. So what I'm considering is, or else if you want it in MB, you can say 5000 MB multiplied by 24 hours, 60 minutes and 60 seconds. The answer you get in the calculator. Okay. So we'll get some big number. Okay. So what actually happens is, if this big number is there, so this amount of data is generated for only for India. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so I considered it as 100 crores. Okay, so even like, sorry, I have not added the zeros of crores. So you can add the whatever answer comes, add the crores zeros for that. Okay, so once you do that, so I'll just come back to the slide. Okay, so this much of data you will be getting. Okay, so that's around huge data. So this is what I am talking about. You'll be having 20 lane of data. So that much of data is generating only for India itself. Okay, so you'll go, if you go to the world, like next, it will again multiply by like population. So that actually huge problem. Now the point is, I'm talking now, I took only consideration of mobile phones against laptop only. That now imagine all your smart bands, smart bracelets, bulbs. Okay, so even all your devices at your home will start generating data, even printers, washing machines, those kind of things. So if they all keep generating, it will go beyond the limit. Okay, so that's where we come into. Okay, so next you may be thinking, why data analytics of so much hype? Okay, so the point here is, first thing is social media data. I told you, like Facebook and LinkedIn, even like Twitter or Instagram, every possible platform is generating so much of data, like they are into hype now. So because of that, they are having like targeted marketing specifically on particular user like that. Okay, so the next point is because of this one. So that's if you Google up a particular term like this, 60th job of like 21st century, you will get the answer as data scientist. Okay, or like data science researcher. So they are on like hype. So that's one of the top best jobs. And if you look at this demand for data science in 2020, okay, so if you look at the, like, it's astonishing, like 11.5 million jobs will be created. Okay, by 2026. Okay, so if you learn like data science or data analytics, you are into this area. So a lot of jobs available, like regarding data science in the sense like amalgam of technologies, data analytics, big data will come into this picture. The point here is, there are so many jobs is created because so much of data is being generated. Everybody wants to target a particular person or particular population sector so that they can do business properly. Okay, so now the point comes is, it's not just data analytics. There are other terms. There is something called business analytics, business intelligence, data analytics, data science, and big data. So these are all like interchangeably used. Okay, so you can say like big data will impact the big businesses like that. So these are interchangeably used. The point here is, like, analytics will help you to take the decisions. Okay, so we'll discuss more about that. So but, and if you want to imagine like how much of data is being generated, so you can see, if you just say like byte of data, or your good morning message is like 1 grain of rice. If you keep on multiplying it, so I was talking about zettabytes. Okay, so if consider zettabytes or quintillion, it will cover the whole ocean. So that much of data is being generating in just one day. Okay, so you can imagine like the number of containers we may need if we put the data in the container boxes and all. It's not required, as like data will be stored in the hard disk. Like, it's not voluminous, like in the sense you don't need big volumes, but the point is data is being generated high scale. Okay, so why analyze? That comes the next part. So the one of the main problem which we face in a country like us is, because of population, it becomes very necessary for us to analyze and target the things properly. Okay, so that's the reason I call it as bytes to billions. Okay, so we can take the bytes from each person, analyze it, and apply it to the billions. Okay, so that's what, like, that Arogya Setu app, like, you have downloaded for this COVID part. So that actually does that. Okay, so now, and the next point is, we have something called chaos. All this research regarding the traffics and road generation of data analytics is done to give you comfort, and even applies for healthcare also. I'll give a small scenario so that you can understand what actually is going on. Okay, so this is how actually they do. I am taking it as a like example which is near to you, rather than taking it as a very corporate example. Okay, so first thing is IPL ticket price management using Twitter. Okay, so what actually happens is, you have IPL, like imagine cricket matches are go there. Okay, so not rather IPL, just you can take any matches like that. So ticket prices using Twitter. Okay, what actually people do is in Twitter they will comment. So like for example, very excited for Pakistan India match, very excited for like Chennai Super Kings against RCB. Say for example, whenever RCB matches like are very near, okay, people will start like tweeting a lot. Okay, so like one of the popular term which they use for RCB is Isala Cup Namde. I don't know whether they will win it or not, but still they will comment on it. They will keep on like tweeting that. So millions of people will be tweeting about that. Millions of people will be commenting on that on Facebook. What actually you can do is, so this is for a high energy match, you can say. So now imagine that there is a World Cup or something like that. So what you can do is, we have to fix the prices of the tickets. Okay. So what you can do is, if you keep on looking at the Twitter and do the analysis and all, you will do something called behavioral analysis or like positive, negative, sentiment analysis. We call it as sentiment analysis in Twitter. So what we can do is we'll analyze whether particular people are interested in a particular match. See, for example, if I tweet, very excited for RCB match, that means I am very interested in the RCB match, upcoming RCB match. So for example, if I tweet something like planning for hangout with my friends for the RCB match. So we'll understand, like Twitter will understand that I'm interested in that. So based on my data, if I tweet that and if I go and search the ticket price, so that the ticket price, if people keep on tweeting it, okay. So imagine like there are 50 million tweets has been done in one past hour or past day. So you can increase the price tickets of that IPL. Okay. So or else like you can decrease it. So for example, if there is Bangladesh versus Scotland match, okay, so you can imagine like no one cares or like no one looks into that. Okay. So what actually the point here is, they can increase or decrease the ticket prices based on the Twitter. So this is called sentiment analysis. They will use data analytics to do that and get the things done. Okay. So this is one very complicated example which they will use at a corporate level. Okay, let me come back to very small example how like data analytics will may help, how big data will help for us to open a BMW showroom in Hubli. Okay, I'm not into cars, but I don't know whether BMW showroom is there in Hubli or not, but still I'll just give you an idea. Okay, imagine I want to open a showroom in Hubli. Okay, so I want to open like showroom, not car showroom, a BMW showroom. And you can see like BMW are highly priced cars, like 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, or even up to crores, something like that. Now I want to figure it out whether I have to invest some money so that the BMW showroom will work or not. One of the classical way of doing this is invest around 10 crores or like 20 crores of money. Okay. So open the showroom. If car sells, no problem. You are in good business. Suppose nobody buys a car, you are in deep shit. Okay. So you have to shut down but the problem is you have lost your 20 crores or like at least 15 crores, something like that. So what's the point here is, can we do something so that we can do something called research so that we can predict in advance whether a BMW showroom in Hubli will work or not. So what's the solution for this is, a classical way of like people you do in BBA and all, like even in MBA law. So they will do market research. So you can go with the questionnaire. We can visit each house, or like you can ask like everybody in the Hubli or like everybody in the Hubli vicinity that whether you are interested in a BMW Pro. And the point here is, if you do this, it's a waste of time, because the people who will buy the BMW cars of like are in the elite people or like rich people. So these people will not give a shit about this questionnaire thing. Okay, even if you go there, like their dog will bark at you, like you don't even have data for that. Okay, so how to do this? What's the solution? If you like have any ideas, you can put it in chat. I will have a look at it. So where to get the data to have analysis of BMW? Well, I want to open a BMW showroom. Now I want to do the analysis, where to get the data. So understand this, we need the data only from the rich, like data of rich people. Somebody said like YouTube ads. No, YouTube ads will not help me. YouTube ad is given for you. I want data from somebody which will help me to analyze. Okay, so I'll just give you the answer. Okay, so the point here is, what you can do is, we can go over to municipality and we can have like the data of people who are in particular elite areas. Okay, so there you'll get all the people who are like very rich and all. Okay, so the next part you can do is, you can do something like, you can have go to Facebook and ask him how many people are talking about BMW in Hubli area. So that's one point. Okay, so that is another point. Or else you can also go to Google also, how many people have googled about BMW and all. So, and understand this, if you just talk about BMW, or like if you talk about BMW in WhatsApp or Facebook, it does not mean that you will buy a car. So we need more reference points where that we can understand whether we can buy the like car. I request the organizers to kindly mute the annotations.
Sir, we have already done it.
Okay, so if that is the case,
Yes.
okay, so I'll just continue. So that
Uh,
BMW showroom, like we need data
yes.
from Facebook and like Google, and we'll analyze it. And then based on that, how many people have spoken about it, and how many WhatsApp chats has been done. Okay, so how many Instagram posts has been posted regarding that, like excited to buy my BMW, like that, looking for a BMW. So this data will help you in advance. Like you just have to pay a maximum, I think around 50,000 rupees to Facebook. Rather than investing 20 crores, it's very safe that you can just invest 50,000 rupees to decide whether you can open a showroom in Hubli or not, and you will be very sure of that because all the data will be location based. Okay, so that's the interesting part. So then comes the importance of data analytics. You can read about this, I'll just give you just idea.
Excuse me, Praveen.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Sir, can you be a little more louder or rather increase your system volume?
Yeah, I'll just, okay. So the next part is importance of data analytics. Okay,
Much
so
better. Thank
what you can do in data analytics, that is predict customer trends and behaviors. So this is, I guess you know this, and analyze, deliver and data in meaningful ways. That's what I spoke about that BMW example. Then increase the business productivity. So you can increase the business productivity. So then drive decision based, like effective decision making can be done. I'll give another example for this. So then you have new revenue opportunities. You may be thinking like you never thought of like that will come into picture, but that business is into like productivity. So then more effective marketing. So targeted marketing, what I said, like specific ads for only specific people can be shown. Then better customer service. I hope you have used Amazon. So right now Amazon is using just the analytics. So no customer care will contact you, like you will be texting to a chat bot which is fed by data analytics. So it will understand what the last bot product is, what's the concern, it will address there itself. So only in case of very crucial things, they will go ahead with the customer service. That is in person, they will contact you. So then improved operational efficiency. So this is for self-driving cars, those kind of things and all. Okay. So even for like business people also this applies. Then competitive advantage over the rivals. This, you know this very well because the moment Amazon launches one particular day, for like something like Flipkart launches big billion day, so this Amazon launches another one, Snapdeal launches another one. So this competitive advantage can be of very importance if analytics is done, like what people are excited about, which phone they are excited about. See, for example, if Xiaomi announces that I'll be launching this phone next week, I'll be launching this laptop next week, people are excited, and this people like Amazon, Flipkart will decide how to have a competitive advantage over the rivals because of this. Okay, so the next part is we'll look into types. You have something like three types of data analytics. One is descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. Okay, so as the name suggests itself, so descriptive is what happened in the past. Okay, so you have a data with you already, it just gives you idea what actually happened. Okay, say for example, if something failed, a machine has broken down, where it has broken down, like at what time it has broken down, so that we can decide. Say for example, I'll just give an example. For example, if you look at the ECG of a person, so ECG will be like up and down graph. So if it is a straight line, suddenly, like if it is going down, so you can understand by the look at the data, if you can figure it out what happened in the past. Okay, so then is predictive, what will happen in the future. So this will predict. So using neural networks, decision trees, and regression, we can do this predictive stuff. Okay, so I'll talk about more about this in the further slides. Okay, so this neural networks will make very big impact for this. Then you have something called prescriptive. uh, Based on the predictive analytics, they will do prescriptive. So what should be done? So this will give you really like decision making advantage over the top two, because it will also tell you what can be done also. Okay, so to solve the problem. Okay, so then what are the underlying technologies for this data analytics? So one is MapReduce, another is machine learning. You can Google about MapReduce, because as it is like focused towards BBA people. So I don't want it to go into MapReduce. MapReduce is a technique where it will refine the data in a such a way that like it will pick only what is important. So for example, if you take the voting of the whole India, so it will count each of BJPs from each state and put it in one side. So that is how MapReduce works. And another topic which is very popular is machine learning. Okay, so we need machine learning models to automate. So right now we are actually doing the analytics, but what actually you do is you take some data in the like Excel and all. So you apply some graph, and that graph will help you to do some decisions. But what if the data is being generated every day? So what if the IPL runs for 365 days? So for example, if you have existing data, you can predict for only 1 month. What if I want to keep on checking like stocks? It will keep on changing. So that is where they will use something called machine learning to models to automate the data analytics stuff. So this is a big data landscape. I know it's very like clumsy, too much information in one slide. Sorry for that. The point here is you should understand in total of this big data analytics landscape. So infrastructure comes on the right hand side. You have something called applications, data sources and APIs are there. Cross infrastructure is also there. This is too much of computer science, but I'll just give you idea what you are looking for. This is where we are talking about. On the middle part, highlighted in the red, okay, we have something called analytics. So these tools we will be required. So there is something called STO, okay, Orange, Vika, and all. So these tools you will be requiring for doing the analytics. Okay. So this is a total big data landscape. Okay. So I'll share this slide with you later, so you can have a like zoom in of this and have a better look. Okay. So then we'll do some case studies where like what actually happens, how Google uses analytics. Okay. So the first thing is, I hope you have seen whenever you log in into your Google account for the first time, they will ask you to click something like I accept. Okay, so recent days, all the websites including mine also, so will ask you to accept the cookies. So they will do it for only one time for one browser. So you'll have some pop-up. So if you say I accept, it will pop, it will go away. Okay, so that is asked for you. So the first time when you put it in the mobile, or like even in your mobile, I guess you have something called I like allow the like allow you'll do whenever you install any application, it will ask for permissions. It will say, you will say allow. What actually it does is it will have access to your uh, data in the mobile. Okay, so that's what we are talking about, cookies. Okay, so these cookies will be there in your whenever you use the things, so cookies will be generated and cookies will be there on your machine, and this will be fed to JavaScript. Like JavaScript will manage this in the browser, and this data, it will be fetched from your browser, it will be sent to the Google servers. So Google servers will predict what will be typing, what you will be searching next, or what you will be looking for. Okay, so then based on that, they will generate some reports, what India is searching about, what like foreign countries are searching about, so what people are excited about, what like people are actually like what people may need. For example, if you Google something like, I don't know whether you try how to kill myself, so they will send like one particular reference for you, like there is one helpline number like Asra, so that they will show it, because they have done some reports analysis and all. Based on the previous searches of other users, they will suggest you something which is meaningful for you. So that's the reason why Google, you may be thinking like, if I search something, Google will automatically know what you will be searching next. So for example, if you search for Salman Khan, like automatically it will recommend Shahrukh Khan in the end. So that is how they will do the analytics based on the lot of data which is being generated previously. They will do the next step. Okay, so the more data they have about you, the more useful it is. Okay, so that's the reason Google is always banging its head to get more data from you. So that's the reason they have launched their own browser. Okay, I hope you have seen they have launched something like Google Chrome. We have been familiar with it, but the thing is, Android comes with Google Chrome itself. There are other browsers which are good. Say, for example, I'm using Brave, Firefox, even Internet Explorer is there. But the point is, if we use other browsers, they may not be able to properly track you. That's the reason they have launched their own browser itself to track you properly. So the more cookies, more like data will be sent to the Google servers reports. So once the reports, you will get some insights. So that again they will send you back to your like machine to do what to do next. What search I should like result should be there like that. Okay. Hope this was useful. Then there is another one. There is something called preventory machinery maintenance. Okay. So as you can see, most of our corporate life is about factories and all. As you can even it happens at your home also. See, for example, you will go to the TV repair shop only when your TV breaks down. Okay, so that is like you have your machine is already broken. Then you will go for like maintenance of it. And in India, like people will not service their vehicles on time. Okay, I have seen many people like that. So people don't care about it because what have the assumption is they will have something like, acha, this is running fine. So let me run it for more time. So if it is running fine, they will assume that like it will never have a problem. So once particular time comes, it will break down. So once they will break down, they will look into it. That is not the point because you are killing the machine. Like machine life will be very less. So that's what like the case study is about. That is, we have something called preventive machinery maintenance. This has been implemented in a lot of factories and all. What they will do is using some technology called IoT, Internet of Things. They will get data from each and every part of the machine. Okay, so something like how they will analyze the car using a laptop. I hope you have seen in service station of cars. So this data will be fetched to one particular computer like server. Okay, so all the machinery will send data to this computer. This computer will analyze the data and see what part of the machine may fall down. For example, if you have a robot, okay, so robot is doing some painting kind of thing. Okay, so this will have a robot will have sensors. So then they will predict what kind of problem may arise in that particular robot. For example, if it is a humanoid robot, whether leg motor is having problem or whether hand motor is having problem. So that motor, which motor may fall, like which motor may break down. So that is predicted in the preventive machinery maintenance. So this is, you can just Google this up if you are interested. So this will give you more picture like what actually this is about. Preventive machinery maintenance is one of the more it has saved millions of rupees for people who are owning factories and all. Okay, then you have this sun. So I'll talk about in the next slide. Then you have self-driving cars, traffic. So one of the biggest problem because of the population in India, that is traffic. Okay, so if you are into Bangalore and all, you have faced that. One of the reason I avoided Bangalore is because of traffic. The solution for the traffic is like most people, 90% of the people like don't know exactly how to like drive or ride. One point. Second point is too many vehicles are on the road. Okay, so some part of this problem is solved by public service providers, like even cabs are there, and even the public service like KSRTC. But the point is people don't want to board that. Okay, so they want comfort. If they want comfort, they will want to have their own car, something like that. So imagine now if I have self-driving car, so this can be solved. How this is solved is each car knows how actually it rides. Okay, so it knows its destination, it knows the speed of other cars on the road also. So based on the traffic may generate at particular junction, they will adjust their speed in a such a way that whether they will speed up as to slow down, and they will move towards in the particular signal, particular circle, in a such a way that each car will not collide with the another car. So if all the cars in the Bangalore are self-driving cars, there will be no traffic at all. So a particular movement will be there. So that's a priority lane, something like that can be done. So that's a solution. So you can, once I share this presentation, go through this shockwave traffic jam. So this video will help you understand how actually traffic happens. Even if you pass a particular person, one person breaks for one very short time, a traffic jam will happen. Okay, so that's the point happens in Bengaluru because of shockwave traffic. Okay, then we have something called sun. Okay, so this I spoke about it. So then we have something called Large Hadron Collider experiment at sun. Okay, so this sun experiment, they wanted, as you know, like in physics and all, we have something called Big Bang theory, how the world started. And people like this scientists wanted to know what actually happened at Big Bang. They wanted some electrons to bombard itself, and they want to generate the data and decide. So now to do this experiment, they have invested thousands of crores, and it will generate huge amount of data. For 1 second, it will generate quintillion of data. So that data is being monitored, and they had something called data analytics because it generates a lot of it. You can imagine like Big Bang is a very big concept. So this management of controlling the nuclear like fission in this experiment, they did it using data analytics. If data analytics was not there, this beautiful experiment like Large Hadron Collider experiment would not have been done. Okay, so you can this is the inside picture of that experiment. You can imagine how many sensors. If I have to give an analogy so that you can understand, imagine all the laptops and mobile phones of all the world are dumped in one particular location, and you want to see how much of data each like laptop and mobile is consuming. And if you want to see that, that is what this experiment is about. That it is of that scale. I hope you can understand. Okay, so then I'll give you what actually happens in particular sectors. This is a real world example, like how actually things happen in our computer science against analytics. Okay, so first thing is you have to access the data. Okay, so accessing data, first thing is either you can get the data from databases like Amazon database of people buying, or you can generate the data from the files also, like all the files saved in my Google Drive, all the files saved in my system also. Then we have something called sensors of your phone, sensors of your laptop, like that. So first thing is you have to access the data. Then in analyzed data, you have to do something called data exploration. You can take only which part is like required, like that. Okay. Then we have to process the data, like you can exclude what is not important, like that. Okay. So this can be done. Then we can have something called domain specific algorithms, which algorithms can be used to generate like filter the data, analyze the data. Okay. So for example, in data exploration, what actually do is I'll give an example. Suppose you have a bank and you want to predict like who may apply for the loan for the next year, like next quarter, something like that. What you can do is the people, if you take the whole list of all the accounts in the bank, you don't need all that. What you can do is you need only a part of the people who have not applied for the loan. Okay, so those people who have already taken the loan, you don't need to analyze them, so you will skip that. So that's what they will do here, analyzing the things. Then they will have something called artificial intelligence model, machine learning model, where they will take this data and give it to it. So then it will learn, then they will deploy it to the particular application wherever required. Okay, so this is it's not just data analytics, it's like all the like technologies are clubbing together. So IoT will come into action, big data will come into action, artificial intelligence, machine learning will help the analytics. Okay, so then what happens when you try it? Okay, the first thing, this is how it would be, I thought, when I started with my analytics stuff and all with Hadoop and all. Okay, so this is what the imagination I had, like, oh, we'll have data, we'll filter the things, we'll have some models and all. So actually the problem here is, this is how it looks. Okay, so big elephant like will be sitting on you. So elephant is the example taken for big data. Okay, so this is a point. Okay, so you don't need to get disheartened, but the point here is, so it's not that easy what you thought. That's the reason why data scientists and data like analysts are paid very high. Okay, so what you need to get started? Suppose you want to do some experiment. So first thing, you need data. So data from your phone, data from laptop, data from some other third-party resources, genetic data, e-commerce data. Like that. Then you need some tools to refine the things, analyze, like classify and all. Then you need models. Okay, so where they can automate the things. Okay, so we'll see why we. Then that is a point where like you, whenever I talk about models. Okay, so you have something called machine learning models or deep learning. Okay, so this will come into picture where it is beyond human capacity. Okay, say for example, if I have to make a list of all the people in like government offices who are not working properly, it becomes very difficult for you to go and analyze each of them. But by just looking at their phone, you can figure it out. I'll give an example for you. Recently, this government like have something called biometric sensors to track the attendance of the government employees. Okay, so this is the idea. I am giving you a real picture how actually problem comes. Okay, so you have something called biometric devices to attract the attendance. I hope you know this. Okay, the point here is people were cheating before this. Okay, so people were just going to the office, they were signing and just they were just going home wandering somewhere. They were not actually working, but they were having the attendance because they will sign it as fake. Then to solve this, they went for biometric devices were installed. Okay, then this biometric machines were having something like fingerprint or like even face scan. They wish to scan and have a biometric thumbprint, and they have, that means like they have been attended for, like they are there for the that day, particular day. Now the problem comes, I really like saw this in live what actually happens. Even though they have biometric system for like day start and day end, what actually they were doing is they will come by in the morning, like something like 10 o'clock or 10:30. They will give their thumb impression. Okay, they will wander the whole day, they will go to home, they will enjoy their life. They will come back by 5 in the evening, they will just again give the thumbprint. Okay, according to your device of biometric, he is there in the office for the whole time. Okay, so but you know that he is not there. Okay, for example, if you see them in physically, what's the solution for this? I spoke with regarding this in one of the meetings in higher officials. So they asked me what's the solution. Well, the very simple for this is you can have something called machine learning models or deep learning models. Okay, so what we can do is we can have machine learning model to track them. Okay, so one of the main prime importance is everybody has a phone now. So what we can do is we can install some app from the government in their device. We can track their movement by using Google Maps or like Google location. So it's already there in your phone. How it predicts the traffic, that's what I'm talking about. So we can use the same API. Okay, so you can have some app which does that. So now you can, you even he does not need to do the face and thumbprint in the morning. He just have to come and sit and work, that's it. So now what actually happens is if he goes out of the office, you instantly know he is moving out of the office, like that. Okay, who, what he, where he is wandering, how much he is spending time at the canteen, like that. So you can have the data. So somebody also interrupted me for this. It will solve to particular extent. What if somebody comes and hold his phone and sit on the chair and sleep? So that's another case, because we can have CCTVs to monitor that. Okay, so this is where like machine learning comes into action. We can have analytics machine learning models to do things. So that is why this comes into picture. Machine learning will help you to automate the analytics. Okay, so this is why you need to have knowledge about this. Okay, so this is how it looks. You have some inputs, then you have some f of x, then you'll get y. So you have some weights and all. It's very complicated. You don't need to understand this, but just have the idea that whenever you have something called machine learning, you have something called neural networks there. Okay, so this is how actually it looks. You have a lot of input layer, then you have hidden layers, and then you have output layer will be there. Okay, so I'll give an example for this. You have something called training data. Training data is like taking like previous records of the bank and who has been like approved the with the loan and all. So then give it to a particular model, train it. Okay, so have some particular, for example, if you have 100 customers, take only 70 customers, do some modeling. Okay, so then give the other 30 members input to the computer, then check whether it works fine with the how it did with the 70% of people. Okay, so if it works fine, you have a good model. If it works not, again refine the things and all. Okay, so a lot of statistics calculus involved in this, but these are ready made available now. Okay, so you don't need to bang here to that level. Okay, so then you have something called three types of learning. Okay, so how to train the machines. So first thing is you have something called supervised learning. What actually does is, you know what actually you are doing. Okay, so this is like walking a kid with the assistance of something. Okay, so this model has everything labeled, data is perfect, something like bank. Okay, so that is where you have to use supervised learning. Okay, then you have something called unsupervised learning. So this is where you have to apply it if your data is not labeled at all. Okay, so if your data is not labeled, okay, it becomes difficult for you to do the things. Something like Twitter data or Facebook data, they will not type in the proper sense, they will just speak up something like that. Okay, so so next thing is we have something called reinforcement learning. So if a model works fine, give it some like uh, chocolate, something like that. If it works fine, does not fine, take the chocolate back. So that is how reinforcement learning. So what if this is, we have data and it's perfect, then supervised learning. If the data is not proper, like we have to label it and all, we have go for unsupervised. Then you have like refined way, you have to keep on doing the thing so that it will understand again and again. Then reinforcement learning. Okay, so that is how we do the things here. Okay, so let me give a small example how this is done. Okay, so I'll give a ready-made examples so that you can understand how they will do the machine learning. Okay, so this is just move to a new tab. This actually will do some not particularly analytics, but you'll just get the idea how machine learning models works. Okay, it takes a few seconds to load something like that. Okay, so I'll do something like image project. Okay, so what I'll do is because of COVID times, I'll do something like no mask and mask. Okay, so I am doing this for images. Okay, so similarly you can have something like approve loan, do not approve loan, like that. Okay, so similarly it will apply for the bank data. Okay, right now I'm taking images data. This is how your Facebook algorithm works for detecting your faces and all. So what I will do is I have to give some samples to it. Then after giving some samples, it will train itself, then it will give him a model. Okay, so at the last, finally the point here is I don't want to recognize each image every time. So what I have to do is I have to train the model. Once I get the model, it is permanent and I can use it anywhere, like that. So instead of mask and no mask, you can have something like approve loan, not approve loan, like that. So as it is image, it will be funny for you. So instead of that, you can have similarly for bank data, text data. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll enable my camera. Give me, okay. So now I'll enable my webcam. I hope you can see me. Sorry for the background, I'm at farmhouse. Okay, so what I will do is it's like banks data. Okay, so instead of banks data, I'm giving my face data. That's it. Okay, so I'll just hold it so that it will understand how my face is. Okay, I have to give samples in all directions. What I'll do is I'll hold this. I'll turn my face. As you can see, I have like rotated my face in all angles so that you'll understand. Right now, I am having 104 examples, 104 images as a sample data. Okay. So then coming over to this, okay. So you have something called mask. Again, I will open my webcam. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll wear a mask. Okay. So I'll hold the button. Then I'll give the data as mask. Okay. As you can see, I have 104 images of data in no mask sample and 111 images of samples of data with mask. Okay, so this is with mask, this is no mask. Okay, so I'll just say like to clarify you, I'll type it as with mask only. Okay, so now what I'll do is based on the data, it's like previous data of the bank. Okay, so all previous data like 2019 is data of bank. So instead of giving this images, you have to give the text data like that. Okay, so this two are there. Then I have to click on train model. Bear with me, this will take a few seconds because it's like need a lot of good internet and good machines. It will use the laptop's resources also. I'm too much consumed by laptop. So once it is done, we should be able to export the model. Okay, so now the training has started. So what it will do is, I'll give you idea what actually it does. Okay, so it will take each and every image, analyze my face, how it phone does for your face, and it will also take the analyze the face of me from this data set also. Both the data set are taken and it will train itself and it will do the same for 50 times. It's like reading the same book 50 times like that. So it will do something like 50 epochs. Okay, 50 epochs means 50 iterations. So once it will apply some algorithm like classification algorithm and all. So what it does is, once it is done, it will the model is trained. You can see here, I can say how much batch size, learning rate, okay, so error rate and all. This is what actually it does under the hood. Okay, so too much technical, you don't need that, but still I'm giving you idea. Okay, so once the model is trained, okay, so this is previous data. We took the data, we trained the model, now we have a working model. This can be applied anywhere in the future. So for example, I have taken the bank's data of 2018 and 19. I have trained a model. Now this model works for next coming years. That's the idea. Okay. So now you can see I am already in the preview. So no mask. I am without mask. It is showing 100%. I hope you can understand. Now if I wear masks, the tab should change. So what it is saying is, this is with mask. Okay. So with mask, without mask. Okay, so I hope you can understand. Okay, so this is how you can have something like for bank, approve loan, do not approve loan. The moment you change the data here, it will change. Okay, so that's how the input things will work. So this is how machine learning models will work. I'm giving an example of image so that you can understand. Similarly, it works for text data. Similarly, it works audio data. Similarly, it works for like video data also. Okay. So you have something called poses also, that will also work. Okay, so let me come back to that. So just close this tab. So I hope you got this. So now the point comes is why I shown that. Okay. So now if you are into data analytics, if you are working for any company, suppose if you are working for like medical stuff, okay, what you have to do is you have to do the machine learning models. You have to go for supervised learning and you have to do classification, like whether he has cancer, have that, he has cancer or not. Then suppose if you are doing for advertising popularity prediction, then you have to go for regression. Okay. Suppose if you are doing some targeted marketing, then you have to, in machine learning model, you have to go for unsupervised learning, then you have to do the clustering. Suppose you are doing some real-time decisions like stocks and all, then you have to go for reinforcement learning. So same applies for robotics. Okay, so this picture slide will give you idea what like technology, like what kind of stuff you have to do and where you have to move. See, for example, if you are doing big data visualization, unsupervised learning, dimensionality reduction. Okay, so population growth prediction, regression. So and you have to use this model. Okay, so this is how machine learning model will help you to do the things. So this is in the analytics part, that is a model creation. So this is for help you to automate the things. You don't need to do it manually. Train it once, it will do it forever. Okay. So then what if you don't know anything at all? Say for example, this slide, you should know what actually you're doing, then you have to go ahead. Then a case comes where you don't know actually what actually you have to do. You don't know actually how the data is and how the things are, which application. Then comes the unstructured data and unsupervised learning. You don't know actually what you're doing. That's a scenario. That is where deep learning comes. So data will be unstructured. You don't know what actually you're doing. Then you have to use deep learning. So in that case, this is how it looks. Okay. So the point here is the person who has never seen a car will not understand this as a car. A person who has seen cars will determine this as a car. So that's how deep learning is all about. Give hundreds of images of cars, you don't tell it's a car, but your model understands day by day that it's having four wheels, it has a well, like windscreen, then it will have bumper, something like that. If it has that, then it's a car. Okay, so deep learning will understand even if you give this kind of images also, it will predict that it's a car. So that is a point of this. Okay, so a bad example for this is it's like dating a lot of women to understand a particular woman, like that. So very bad example, I know this, but still it will help you understand. So you don't know what actually you're doing, to make it understand you have to do this. Okay. Then visioning database environment. So this is just for fun for you, so that you will not get bored. Okay. So what actually happens if data analytics will go in a deeper section, and it will become part of our life to an extreme level. Okay. So I'm talking about extreme level. Okay. And just make it full screen so that you can understand properly. Okay, so here comes the story for this. Okay, so I experimented with a lot of presentations. Everybody likes this. That's the reason I share it again and again. So what actually visioning database environment? See, for example, all your data will be collected for your mobile's data, your laptop data, TV's data, and all. Okay, so this data will be collected from your parents as well as your phone also. Okay, so what actually happens in future, like data analytics totally world runs on data science, something like that. I'm talking about max by 2030, 40, something like that, even 2050. By that time, what actually happens is whenever a baby is born, its birth gets registered. Once its birth gets registered in the hospital, instantly Aadhaar and insurance will be created. And based on your parents preferences and the data you are born, time of the day, something like that, you don't need to go to a priest or something like that. Directly a name is suggested for you. How Google suggest a name for your email, like that, Praveen 1156, something like that. So name will be suggested. So other insurance name will be suggested instantly by birth. Then you have something called school suggestion. Based on your location, or everything is data. Understand that all the things is being done by the data fetched from your parents and location, something like that. So it will, they will detect, the model will detect where you are, like whether you are in India, what location you are in, what's the financial condition of your parents. Then it will suggest a school based on that. Then once a particular person, like the children will join the school, they will have their own mobile phones. So then they will be getting something like notifications. Then instantly, based on the data, what actually he is doing, how he behaves, what's his traits and all, whether he is a calm person or like aggressive, something like that, based on that it will have notification like best friend suggested for you. Then if he taps on that, it may also give directions where to go and meet him, like that. Okay, so very broader perspective based on the data itself. Then based on your school's data, your parents data, then based on your locality, then again it will suggest you which college to join in. You don't need to like attend any exams, like that. Instantly a college will be suggested for you. Once you go to the college, they will have a notification like whether which boyfriend girlfriend like you are liking, like or where you have to go and meet. That's also suggested and it's ready for you. Okay, so based on the data again. Okay, so then based on your college data, school data, and your location preference, job is suggested for you. What kind of job, what's your personality, which job fits you, everything is there. Just notification will come that okay, this is the best suggested job for you. See, for example, recently I took a survey where it suggested that I'll become a good teacher. Okay, so that's applicable for me. Based on the data itself, it predicted, but it's right also because I love teaching. So job suggestion. Then it will also suggest whom to marry, something like Kannada matrimony. Kannada matrimony will fake the things because it will matches two profiles and tries that do the things based on the some data itself. Even Kannada matrimony also runs on data analytics. They will take the data and suggest for you. But the point here is in 2050, something like that, based on your job, school, like your location, it will also give you a notification whom to marry. No searching, nothing like that. Okay, then it will also tell you when to have kids. Okay, so that's like based on your financial condition, based on your maturity level. It will also tell to ask you to like when to have kids. Now I'm not telling about how to have kids, when to have kids. Okay, then you have something like old age home, like for example, once we have kids, they will start from the loop one. Okay, so they will start from the scratch. Then you will become old. So once you are old, a robot suggestion will be coming to you, like this is the best robot you can afford, this is what is suggested for you to help in your old age. So that will come. So the robot suggestion is also done. Then once fine day, like based on your eating preferences and all, so you will get sick. Okay, so you'll fall on the floor in your home. So instantly a smart band wearing you are wearing, or a phone or a CCTV in your home will instantly call the ambulance without like a second delay. Okay, nobody is there to monitor you, at ambulance will come to you, somebody will pick you. Okay, so they will take you to the hospital. But because of your all the previous data of medical reports, okay, even the medication is also ready in the hospital. Okay, that's also because of big data or like data analytics. Everything is analyzed for you because of your current situation. Past data is taken and they will have prescription, like how doctor prescribe. A prescription is also shown to the doctor, like this is what you should do to this person. So then after that, suppose you will be also be analyzed that whether you will be dead in like next 2 hours or next 2 weeks, something like that. Suppose you imagine like you will be dying in, I don't wish you to die, but imagine like you will be dead for next 2 hours. So notification will go to the cemetery that somebody is dying, keep the like space ready, this is his height and this is his width, kindly dig the pit for him. So this is how, based on your height, like even cemetery is also ready. So this is you complete how you complete your life in 2050, something like that. So the point here is you just have to enjoy the life and embrace the things. Okay, so this is how a big data based environment will look like in the future. Okay, then a scenario comes. This is like I am very optimistic regarding technologies. A binary god may come. So you actually, what actually you do, you go to temples. Okay, so you offer some coconut and all, like you bribe him, like bribe the god. So you light the candle for him, something like that. Then you pray like this is what my problem is, solve, kindly solve it. Okay, so in future you may have something like binary god. What actually happens is, god may know, like your computer may know, computer may have behave like a god, and it will predict what problem you have, when you will have a breakup, something like that, what's the solution for this. And a report will come to your mobile instantly. Pay 500 rupees, like kindly have the report, this is what you should do to solve your problems, like that. So this is upcoming future, may come in 2100, something like that. Okay, so then what are the tools you should be looking at? So for beginners, if you are a very beginner, kindly look into Vika, Orange, H2. I forgot to write another one. There is something called Anaconda also. You can have Google that. Okay, so Vika, Orange, H2, Anaconda. Okay, so suppose if you are a little bit good with the computers regarding programming also, if you know little bit of programming like C and all, kindly go ahead and learn Python and all. So TensorFlow and all, have knowledge about this, it will help you a lot. So for beginners, Vika, Orange and S2, just to understand what it is and all. So for intermediate, go ahead with Python and TensorFlow, learn this, it will help in the future. So if you are into research based, if you are faculty looking for research in analytics and all, you should learn R and MATLAB. Okay, so even Python is okay, but preferably R and MATLAB are more widely used. Okay, so then teach, you should know like tools you should know, like one first thing is teachable machine, which I shown you. Okay, so it may help you. Then you have something called Google Colabs, so to write models and all. And you should know Jupyter Notebook if you're willing to work offline. Okay, you can Google each of one and install and give a try. TensorFlow and other libraries, there are other libraries to do the analysis and all. Pandas is one. Okay, so there are a lot of Python libraries available for this. Then the end of the presentation. So what I've done is I just scratched the tip of this big data and analytics stuffs. Okay, so what there is a whole lot stuff below it. Okay, so you just have to learn more. It takes some time. For me itself, like it took around 5-6 months to understand what the things are. Okay, so once you know this, you are in top picture. Say for example, because of people knowing analytics, big data, those kind of stuffs and all. Once you do your bachelor's degree, or if you are into master's degree, once you are having grip on this, you will be on the top hierarchy level of the corporate industry, because you know what actually data is, you know how analytics is being done, what things to be there, how machine learning helps to do the analytics. If you know all these stuff, you'll be on the top hierarchy. So I just gave you the idea of how to be on this, like on the top layer. Okay, so there are a lot of things involved in this. You don't need to learn everything. Okay, so the point here is, you may be thinking what the hell, like I should learn the whole iceberg to understand this. No, just focus on few things. For example, Google, like you can understand what are the tools for data analytics. Okay, then you can understand what are the tools for like big data. Then you see what is applicable for you, what kind of data you have, which machine learning will help, model will help you. So if you know this kind of little bit stuff, that's enough. Okay. So once you are enough, once you get into corporate world, you will really understand what actually you should do. But before getting into corporate industry, so these are the prerequisites. Suppose if I hire somebody who has to do the work of data into data science or analytics, I expect him to know the things. Gone are the days like where Excel was helping. Okay, so now nobody cares for Excel. Things have gone very far ahead. Okay, so even still Excel is there, but still, if you go into industries like Amazon and all, even Google, even Facebook, data is of very high importance. Analytics, big data stuffs will help you a lot. Okay, so next what you should do, so the first thing is go to the presentation again on SlideShare. I'll share this on my website, even on SlideShare. Then explore the resources provided. Okay, so play with the machine learning models which comes for analytics. Okay, so I mentioned something like Google, TensorFlow and all. Play with that, and even you have some tool called Orange. Okay, I'll just give a demo of that also. We'll get to know. Then build small AI, artificial intelligence or machine learning models and scale up. Okay, so that learn from failures. Okay, so my first experience with big data, Hadoop and all, I took around 6 months to get something like Hello World, just to get first working model. So it took around 6 months. It takes time. Okay, but meanwhile, if you know the things like I have given, there was no teacher for me, but no webinar attended, but I have given you like predefined instructions how you should move on, so that will help you. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Then think out of the box. Always don't think, try to solve in a narrow way. Okay, so don't try to improve the candles. Okay, so you'll not get double. Okay, so think out of the box. Okay, so that's enough, I guess. Okay, so I'll just give you a small idea about what actually analytics tool looks like. So I have something called Orange with me. Okay, kindly raise your hands if you can see my whole screen, not just PPT, whole screen. Okay, all right. Like the tool which I'll be using right now to give idea is Orange, ORANGE. Okay. It's a very huge tool. It will take a few seconds to load. I'll try my best to show you a demo of that. Okay. So meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. So I'll read it and give answer for that. Okay, I'm just facing some problem with the Orange, I guess, because of system resources, because too much of the data is consumed by Zoom as well as presentations and Brave and all. Okay, so I'll just uh, go ahead with the question and answers. Meanwhile, if it loads, I'll show you a demo. I'll try my best to do that. Okay, so I hope this was enough for you. Okay, so I have this is enough. So what actually you can do is you can put your questions in the chat box. I'll answer them. Meanwhile, if my Orange loads within that time, I'll give idea. Okay, all right. The first thing is somebody asked like how is career in business analytics different from the career in data science? See, these two are very different aspects. business analytics deals with analyzing the data. Okay, whereas data science is a broader perspective. In data science, you will learn everything. So, for example, you should know business intelligence, you should know business analytics, you should know big data, you should know Hadoop, those kind of things and all. So, data science, they will expect full-fledged engineer like that. You should know anything, everything. Okay, so I'll just give an analogy so that you can understand. Business analytics guy is something like who analyze the things in your car sitting inside the car, whereas data science is a guy who knows to change the tires, change the engine, like that. He knows everything. So data scientist or data science career is more like vibrant, more tough rather than business analyst. Analyst will just analyze the data and give visualization, that's it. Okay, so any basic next question is, any basic job for data analytics requires minimum 3-4 experience. How should freshers cope up with this? That's true. See, because if I am working in like if I am a manager in Amazon, and if I give my data like freshly hired candidates, you are in like I will be in deep shit because you don't know what actually you should do. So that's the reason what you do is, my suggestion is, uh, the best way to do this is, instead of having minimum of 3-4 experience, nobody hire you directly as a data analytic manager, something like that. If you know tools, they may hire based on your knowledge, but preferably they will always look for experienced people. So instead of applying for as a job, what you can do is you can go ahead as an intern. Try to apply as an intern for analytics in a lot of companies. There are hundreds of companies, not only just Amazon. What you can do is go ahead and just apply as an intern. Take experience of analytics for 6 months or 1 year, something like that. Then put that in your CV. Then you will be hired. Okay, so they will not look for 3-4 experience like that. So the point here is, if you are intern, so you'll be exposed to the real world problems of analytics, so they will have more knowledge. Okay, so rather than studying from the scratch. Okay, so then next question is, uh, sorry, as you said that all will become automatically, will get output before we think. If this happens, computer will rule humans, will we will become lazy, right? Okay, fine. Very good question. So I actually missed out to talk on this. See, the point here is, suppose you have a, I'll give an example so that you can understand this. Suppose you have a mixer with you. Okay, so why mixer was invented, I hope you know this. Mixer means grinder, I'm talking about grinder. Okay, so what actually happens is, why that is invented, you should understand this. Most people will think that it was like invented to help people to chop the things and all. So you can cut the things like crash the fruits by on your own using knife. Okay, if you keep on doing that, you will waste your time. So that's where like you can make juice out of your mixer easily. Okay, so you'll put the dumps the fruit in the mixer, you'll do it in an instant way. That will save your time. But the point here is, mixer was invented to save your time so that you will use your time productively. It depends on you. Suppose if your mixer does the job of making a juice for 1 hour in 1 minute, rest of the 59 minutes, if you lay on the bed and sleep, it's your mistake. So being lazy is optional, but technology like is very applicable for lazy people itself. That's also true. Okay, so it's a very ambiguous question, and ambiguous answer comes for this. So it depends on how we take it. See, I have a mobile. I expect my mobile to do a lot of things for me, because I don't want to waste the time do it manually. So that's where I expect to do that, because I can use that time productively. So that's the idea. Okay, so becoming lazy is a optional stuff. Okay, then okay, thank you for figuring this out. Okay, so the next question is, will GitHub and Kaggle help for the same? I forgot to mention this, very sorry. There is some website called Kaggle. Okay, so kindly everybody note this. So there is some website called Kaggle, Kaggle. Okay, Kaggle. I'm talking about this. I hope you can see my screen. Okay, so Kaggle Data Science Company. Okay, so this is one of the most widely used data science community projects and data science course available there. So what you can do is, go ahead and check this out website, and you have to learn things from there. Okay, so from Kaggle. Okay, so thank you. Like I think the name is Shreya. Okay, so thank you Shreya Mishra for like reminding this. So go ahead and play with this Kaggle. So you have data sets there, you have machine learning models there, you have something called notebooks. You can learn easily how to visualize data, how to process the data, how even competitions are there to get ahead in this. If you are good in competitions in this website, you will get a job without any asking. For example, even I get a lot of job offers without applying. The reason is because of your experience in that. Okay, so machine learning model. Okay. Mm. So next question is, sir, in machine learning model you had shown an example of image. I don't know, like the question is not clear. I just used the image as a model there. Okay, so image processing model I can say. Okay, done. We are coming from, next question is from Gauri Akki. We are coming from non-engineering background. Which career would be better for us, data science or business analytics? It's of your choice only. The answer will be it's of your choice. But remember, data science career will always take a longer path. You need to at least study for 1 year in very rigorous and deep like learning is required for you. So in business analytics, you can go ahead with your normal background itself. Okay, so as you are from non-engineering background, you can go ahead with business analytics. Kindly get familiar with analytics tools and all. Okay, go ahead with business analytics. Once you are in business analytics for 1 year, you will get a clear picture. Then get into data science. Meanwhile, learn data science like that. Then the whole data, the next question is, the whole data is put into the machine learning model. For that process, it will take more time, I think. Okay, so this is true. You cannot to train any model like data analytic model, you cannot put all the data. What you have to do is you have to select only training data. We have something called training data. We'll take only part of the data and we'll give it to the model, then it will process it. I'll give you an example so that everybody can understand this. Okay, so as it was not applicable technically for you, I skipped this because somebody figured it out. I'll explain this. Okay, so if I have to explain this, kindly raise your hands. I'll explain this example with a kid. Okay, so what I will do is I'll just give you idea like regarding that. Okay, so the point here is what I'll give you example of how actually that happens. Imagine like you have to train a kid with experimenting with the fire. Okay, so you don't need to burn the kid with everything whatever burns. What you have to do is you just have to burn with candle or like incense sticks. Okay, like agarbatti and all, only once. So once it burns, he will understand the whole picture. Okay, so that's the how only part of data is required. Okay, so the next question is it necessary to do masters in data science and certification course sufficient? Okay, going ahead with the masters in data science is a good idea as per now current market strategy. Okay, so even certification will help a lot. Okay, but go ahead with the certification of high level like Google certification or IBM certification. Okay, which next question is, which among deep learning, data engineering, business intelligence, data analytics has a bigger scope? Okay, so like if you want to make money, go ahead with business intelligence and data analytics. Okay, with very less learning curve. Okay, so if you are looking for things on the long term, go ahead with deep learning. So deep learning has a very deep learning curve itself. Okay, but even data engineering has a deep learning curve, but once you master this, you will like make a lot of money in that also. So scope is better in deep learning, but if you want if you are very good at visualization and all, go ahead with data analytics. Okay, I'll share the presentation. You don't need to worry regarding that. I'll share with the like host how best this can be used in sports development in general, in particular for a individual. Yeah, this is a very good question. In sports and all, actually they are using it, but we don't know it. That's it. So in IPL and all, like I'll just give an example of cricket so that everybody can understand. Cricket, previously what we had something called coaches used to tell like you should not play this shot like this, you should not like play this kind of bouncy shots, don't play like yorkers and all. Now what they will do is they have cameras fixed all time to the batting sector. So we have machine learning models which will analyze the batting performance and it will suggest that this ball you should play like this and this is how you played it wrong. So that is there. So that is how it is applied in sports, like even in football or something like that. Okay, so that's the idea. How is the job market for business intelligence? I mean, how is the demand for it? Very high, like I have shown you in the first few slides itself. Very high. Like if you learn part of the data business intelligence itself, but you should tell them like some tools, like you should tell like Kaggle, I know Kaggle, I have been with Veka, I have been with Orange, those kind of things. If you tell them, they will understand that like the things. Is it necessary to be familiar with Hadoop? Not necessary. If you are into analytics, you don't need to learn Hadoop. Hadoop comes in big data. Okay, but knowledge of Hadoop and MapReduce will help you get the things faster. Suppose if you are a manager, knowledge of Hadoop will help. So if you are get it to next level, it will help. So not necessarily not required all time. Okay. So meanwhile, this Orange is working fine. Okay. So I'll just give you a small demo. Here it is. I'll just show you one example. So this is how I hope you can see my screen. Kindly acknowledge this. Okay, so what actually happens is I am using some.
Yes, screen is visible.
Okay, so what I can do is we have something called Orange. So I am taking existing data. Okay, so we have something called workflows. Okay, so you can explore this. This is a free tool. Whatever I have spoken right now, all are open source and free tools. Okay, so we'll have something like visualization of interactive visualizations. You can choose any one of this. Based on what actually you're doing, you can refer this. Okay, so what you can do is you can have this file and interactive visualization, something like that. Then click on open or something like that. Any model. Okay, so this is a drag and drop feature. You can see I can move my cursor anyways. You can learn. Okay, so this is a file. So this is having something like iris data. So this is having some flower classification example. Okay, so in the similar way you can have banks data. Okay, so then you have something called classification tree, number of columns like that will be there. Then after that, if you click directly on this, I'll just give you an idea how easy this is. Here the model is like of tree structure and all. So once the data is there, if you want to visualize, just click on this. So you can place them. So here on the left hand side you have all these tools. Okay, so you can just drag and drop, play with them. YouTube tutorials are also available. So what you can do is if you want to visualize, just click on the scatter plot. It will show you how the data looks instantly. Okay, so for any person who wants to take instant view of the data instead of text data, it becomes very easy for us. So that's what this tool is all about. Then you have something called classification tree. You can email like in this classification tree is having 9 nodes and 5 leaves. So based on the data, instantly visual classification tree is developed for you. So based on the data which we have given in the first part, here is the data. So here is a classification tree. So then once the classification tree has particular model running on it, then you can connect the thread here. So you can have something called classification tree viewer. So this classification tree will visualize the data. Similarly, you can apply this for banking, shopping, something like that. Okay, so then select particular data, again put it for the scatter plot. Then we will have a scatter graph, something like that. So even you have something like box plot and all, you have to select the like labels and all. So once it does it, so similarly we have ranking and all, pivot table, lot of things are available here. Even you can see the Python script for this and all. Okay, so similarly you can join the things here. Okay, so this is just drag and drop tool, but very useful for beginners, people who don't want to code. Okay, so non computer science people like that. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. Okay, so I hope this is enough for session. Okay, so thank you for listening. I hope I made the clear thing. The time is not enough, but still I hope few things are got into your head. Okay, thank you for this. So you can explore more about learning on computer science on CS Bytes, live Anveshani. I write about the things, or you can go to praveensha.com. Okay, so this presentation will be shared later, or you can go to praveensha.com presentation. We'll get all my presentations. Okay, so you can follow me on any of the platforms. Okay, or you can contact me on mail and WhatsApp also. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, it was such a wonderful session. I now request my colleague, Professor Jaslyn, to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all. I, Professor Jaslyn, on behalf of KLE BBA, take this opportunity to thank our resource person, Mr. Praveen Hanchinal, for sharing his knowledge and insights on the topic, the changing era of business and data analytical. Thank you, sir. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the management, our principal, Professor Ramakant, sir, for his constant support and encouragement in conducting the webinar. Thank you, sir. I also thank all the faculties for their constant involvement in making this webinar a success. I thank all the teaching and non-teaching staff. Special thanks to all the participants for their active participation throughout the session. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll leave the meeting now.
Thank you so much, sir. Kindly do not close the meeting, as we would take care of the rest with feedback forms.
Done. I'll just mute on stay idle.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. All the participants, I request you to kindly fill the feedback form. The link has been put on the in the chat box. Your participation certificates will be received within a week's time. So kindly bear with us if you don't receive the the certificate immediately today. We will be online for a few more minutes to assist you with the feedback link. If any queries are there, kindly post it on the chat box. Participants, this link of feedback form will be active till 8 p.m. tonight. So kindly complete the process before 8 p.m. tonight. The link has also been shared on the WhatsApp groups. I think we have a query here. Just give me a second. Ma'am, I'm joined using full national shared link. Can I fill the feedback form? Mr. Narsimha RB, you can go ahead and fill the feedback form for your certificate, sir. Mr. Praveen Kumar, name of the institution can be your company or your college name, depending on what profession or what stream you belong to. Certificates would be received in 4 to 5 days.